I mean, it's simple. You have to come out and play with the killer instinct. You have to have that intensity.
Where was that tonight?
I have no idea. I hate watching the Lakers play sometimes because towards the end they try to play the hero ball. Okay. You said LeBron James the greatest player ever?
Ever.
What about Michael and Kobe? So you just gonna pass Kobe up like that?
I'm gonna pass Kobe up. I'm gonna look at Michael. I'm gonna look at the. I'm gonna look at.
I know it. Patron, America.
Yo.
Shaquille O'Neal telling LeBron James to stop comparing himself to Michael Jordan feels completely different once you look at the numbers behind it, because this is no longer just about opinions. This is a legacy supported by statistics. And when you start putting those numbers side by side, the discussion becomes uncomfortable very quickly. Now think about this for a moment. LeBron has scored more than 40,000 career points, making him the NBA's all-time leading scorer, and he's also ranked among the top 5 in career assists. Let that sink in. You're looking at a player who could finish as the greatest scorer ever while also being one of the greatest playmakers in NBA history at the same time. Meanwhile, Jordan ended his career with 32,292 points, which is incredible on its own, but he achieved it in a completely different way. Jordan averaged 30.1 points per game, the highest average in NBA history, while LeBron has averaged around 27 points per game over careers spanning more than 2 decades. So right there, you're looking at volume versus longevity, peak scoring versus sustained dominance. This is where things become difficult, because when Shaq says, "Stop comparing," he's pointing directly at this exact issue. Jordan dominated over a shorter period with complete control. 6 championships, a 6-0 record in the finals, 6 finals MVP awards, and he never allowed a final series to reach Game 7. That's perfection. But LeBron has reached 10 finals, won 4 championships, and accomplished it with 3 different teams, in 3 different systems, and across 3 different eras. That's adaptability. That's survival at the highest level.
Where do we start? It's just amazing at his age.
Yeah.
What he came into the league, what we perceived him as an athlete, a dunker.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing as a complete scorer, shooter, and everything else under the sun. So it was just a cool moment to see him get to his spot, fade away, new record.
Here's the part that almost nobody is talking about. LeBron has played more than 1,400 regular season games and counting, along with over 280 playoff games. That's essentially the equivalent of multiple extra seasons of high-pressure basketball. Jordan played more than 1,072 regular season games and around 179 playoff games. So when people point out that LeBron has more finals losses, it's also true that he's had far more opportunities because he remained in championship contention longer than almost anyone in NBA history. This is where many young players make a mistake. They look at the rings and stop there. 6 rings versus 4 rings. Debate over. But Shaq is basically saying, hold on, look deeper. Because if rings were the only thing that mattered, then players like Robert Horry would be part of the GOAT conversation too. Context matters. Competition matters. Longevity matters.
Have focus, and I'm glad the Rockets beat them. We know what it needs to be done to win the championship. LeBron knows that. I'm surprised that they didn't come out with that effort and intensity, and I'm super disappointed in the Lakers.
Now, let's talk about all-around impact, because this is where LeBron separates himself. He's averaged around 7 rebounds and 7 assists for his career, something no player at his level has maintained for this long. Jordan, on the other hand, averaged about 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Still elite, but his game was more centered on scoring and defense. Defensively, Jordan has the advantage with 1 Defensive Player of the Year award and 9 All-Defensive First-Team selections, while LeBron has been elite defensively at different points of his career, but hasn't maintained that same level consistently throughout. This is where things get interesting, because now you're not just comparing players, you're comparing roles. Jordan was the ultimate scorer, the closer, the player you trusted to take the final shot every time. LeBron is more of a system. He controls the game, makes the right play, and sometimes passes up the last shot to create a better one. Depending on what you value, your answer changes. Here's the part nobody's talking about. Advanced stats make this debate even closer. LeBron owns one of the highest player efficiency ratings in NBA history, right alongside Jordan. His win shares are higher because of his longevity, meaning he's contributed to more overall team success over time. But Jordan's peak seasons are still regarded as some of the most dominant stretches ever, when he was simply unstoppable on both ends of the floor.
I'm going to say one thing to you, Max. I don't know the numbers like you do. Michael Jordan is what in the finals? 6 and what? Oh. And what is LeBron in the finals? That's all I got to say.
This is where young players often make a mistake. They try to apply one definition of greatness to everyone. But Shaq is basically saying greatness doesn't look the same for every player. Jordan's greatness was built on dominance and finishing the job every single time. LeBron's greatness is built on evolving, adapting, and remaining at the top longer than anyone expected. Now, here's how it all ties back to Shaq's message. Where he says stop comparing. He's not saying LeBron isn't great. He's saying LeBron is so great that he doesn't need the comparison anymore. Because if you take Jordan out of the equation, LeBron's resume becomes even more remarkable. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer, ranks in the top 5 in assists, has more than 20 All-Star appearances, multiple MVP awards, championships with different teams, and is still performing at a high level well into his late 30s and early 40s.
When LeBron passes up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in points, and he will this year, will that make him the greatest player ever? Okay. An interesting question.
This is where things get complicated, because as long as LeBron keeps getting compared to Jordan, every loss gets magnified. Every missed shot becomes part of the debate. Every playoff exit turns into a discussion about his legacy. And that's exactly what Shaq is pushing back against. He's saying, why are we still making this comparison when the numbers already prove LeBron's greatness in a completely different way? Here's the part nobody's talking about. If you separate their careers, you might realize this isn't really a competition. It's two different kinds of greatness. Jordan is the peak. LeBron is the marathon. Jordan is the perfect storm. LeBron is the constant force. And now we reach the real debate. If LeBron ends his career with something like 42,000 plus points, 11,000 plus assists, and 11,000 plus rebounds, does that outweigh Jordan's perfect finals record and scoring dominance? Or does perfection still outweigh longevity? Because that's where things become difficult. There isn't a clear answer. So I'll leave you with this. Is Shaq right? Should LeBron stop being compared to Michael Jordan altogether? Or are these numbers the very reason this comparison will never end? Because the stats don't settle the debate. They make it even harder.